Tuesday, the 21st of May, 2024, and today is a serious one. Rishi Sunak only yesterday in the news has said that he's going to have comprehensive compensation for the skanky NHS, which between the 70s and the 90s was giving blood away to people that contained HIV and hepatitis. This is going to be a triggering video for some people. People whose aunts, mothers, families, friends, uncles all work in the NHS. If you have doctors in the family, if you come from an NHS family or a medical family, this might be triggering. You may disagree with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to just speak my truth as I always do on Indigo Explores. The NHS is a skanky organisation. Skanky, skanky, skanky. Full of people who have committed manslaughter and murder. Let me make it very clear. The people working within it have benevolent intentions. The people working in it care for humanity and are doing what they believe is the best thing that they can do to help heal humanity and to nurse the world. I'm here to tell you that in 1930, the Rockefeller family and the Rothschilds gathered together, purchased all information regarding the medicine industry. They took nourishment from nature, changes some of the elements in it so that they could put a pattern on it, sell it back to you. But say, for instance, a certain leaf helped you to not have a headache, and then they've gone and changed some of the ingredients of the DNA of the leaf so that they can then make it into a tablet, a Western tablet, and sell it back to you. This is no longer benevolent. It's no longer God. It is going to create side effects. And this is what the NHS have done. Obviously, as we've seen in 2020, millions of nurses are complicit, I guess you could say, under the Nuremberg Code, which is a code that was created after World War II, where they brought in certain scientists and doctors and said, well, you put all these people into the concentration camps and you're going to have to go to prison for it. And their excuse was, we were just doing our job. But under the Nuremberg Code, they're saying, yeah, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to suffer for this. This is what's happening, will happen, and has happened in the NHS. All of them so-called nurses, they were hiring in people from Job Centre and teaching them how to put that into people's arms. Doctors who are forcing people to take medicine, which is actually now globally been revealed as being very dangerous. You're all complicit. And I'm not coming for you. This is not a personal attack. This is just know your place, know the causes that you've created, so that when we're seeing the effects right now, death, confusion, pain, blood clots, you can recognize your part in it. Did you question, or did you just do what you was told, like a child does to a parent? Or did you do your own research and you believed you were doing the right thing, but are you aware of where that research came from? What if everything that you learned was a psyop? What if everything you learned wasn't holistic, didn't contain the entire body, only talked about cutting out tumours and problems, putting plasters over them? This is what the Rockefeller family did. So, that being said, yesterday in the news, it's all over the news, it's come out now that the government have had to admit that during the 70s and the 90s, they were giving away blood that had HIV in and hepatitis. This is a disgrace and disgusting. That means that there's generations of people that will be affected by this. Can you imagine going to get blood from the trusted NHS and they give you HIV? If you ask me as well, this is a bit of disclosure for the ones that can see, to let them know that the NHS is part of a massive blood cult. I've done a few interviews with people now, and I've spoke to a few people that have got a lot of inside information on the NHS and how they're ciphering our blood. If you believe in the world that I believe in, you don't have to, but we live in a hijacked matrix based on the blood of children and taking our loose energy. Can you imagine where else you're going to get more blood than a hospital? How dangerous and how nasty that is. No, I'm not saying that if something happens, we shouldn't go to the hospital or you shouldn't go to the NHS. If you break a bone, it's the place to go to set it. But if you've got a certain illness, it's also the place to go where they're going to consistently keep giving you medicine that makes you keep coming back because it's a business. You know, every time someone with cancer gets referred to go get a mammogram, someone on the chain gets £6,000. It's like network marketing. It's affiliate marketing. They need you to have cancer. They need you to go get the mammogram because someone gets paid. I was having a conversation with a beautiful woman in my life recently who has discovered that she might have a lump in her breast. And she's very wise. She knows how to heal the body using alkaline, using certain modalities that people are doing now and how they're healing themselves. So, but she wants to just confirm that it's cancer. So she's gone into the hospital and they're saying, well, go and take a mammogram. I may be saying that wrong. It's the thing where you put the breast inside like 2 plates and it squeezes it. As we know, as she knows and I knew as soon as we spoke about it, fuck that. No way. No way. When you understand the body's power of healing and protecting itself, if there is cancer, it creates a tumor, it puts it into the tumor, blocks it off from the entire body so the oxygen can't get to it. When you then go and squash that tumor or do a biopsy, open it up, it actually allows all of the cancer to spread across the body, to be released from the tumor. So what I'm basically saying is everything that the NHS and modern Western medicine does to try and stop cancer actually creates it. And I'm saying that boldly. They want to spend over billions of pounds cancer research, but they haven't fucking sorted out anything. But as soon as there's an injection for skin cancer, they can create it overnight. No. Unfortunately, the truth is, if you work in the NHS and you're contributing towards helping women find their tumours through mammograms, you are unfortunately helping to kill more and more sacred divine women on this planet. And of course, your intentions aren't to do that, but you've been manipulated through false Western medicine created by the Rockefellers in 1930, where they purchased out all the universities, all the sacred books, all the knowledge, and they burnt the truth in all of the great fires of our history, going back to Tataria times, of the way that the body can heal itself. You don't hear the NHS talking about if you were to put a urine compress on your breast over the lump, after about a month, the cancer actually seeps out of the tumour and out of the skin without making any cracks. So they also offered her an ultrasound, incredibly dangerous with the radiation, what an ultrasound does. And every single time they recommend someone for either an ultrasound or a mammogram, the doctor gets paid, someone gets paid. This is evil. And I'm here to tell you it's evil. It's not a joke. And now on the news, they're talking about blood that's infected, HIV, hepatitis, comprehensive compensation. Rishi Sunak, who does not give a fuck about you, by the way, billionaires, does not give a fuck about you. This is a game. This is a game. They're telling us that this is a cannibalistic, blood-driven society. Straight bold. Just like the Louis Vuittons with the red bottoms represent cannibalism. This piece of news today for me is confirmation and further confirmation of the blood harvesting that's going on in the NHS. The crimes that are being committed in the NHS, both consciously and subconsciously. And we're paying our taxpayers' monies to contribute towards this Satanism. Some people think what I've said today is extreme and unfair. Other people, like myself, will think I haven't even scratched the surface on how dark it really gets, how involved NHS is with the cabal. And like I said, this is not an attack to you if you work for the NHS, if your mum or your aunt or your family are nurses or doctors or midwives. But one of my closest friends in 2020, she was a midwife up until the pandemic. And the day that they asked her to start talking about putting that poison into parents that had children, she quit her job. Everything in life is a choice. You have a choice. You either choose to walk with God or you walk with Satan. And the worst thing is, once you've recognized that you're walking with Satan, do you continue to walk with Satan? And I'm not saying if you go to the NHS, you're satanic. I'm not saying if you even work for the NHS, you're satanic. But I'm saying if you really understood the truth, if you really became a nurse or a doctor to heal the world, You would do what people like them American doctors are doing, that are losing everything to speak out about the truth of what they've discovered since the pandemic. There's certain doctors out there that have lost everything. Even that, I can't remember her name, Barbara something, the Australian doctor who talks about all the ways you can heal the body using ginger poultices and all amazing stuff like that. She's not even allowed to talk about medicine in Australia. So once you understand how much we've been duped, how much that the education that you spent your life and years and money learning through university was a lie, not holistic, not benevolent, then maybe you can actually start to participate in the greatest shift ever. Withdraw your consent, withdraw your help, and start to speak about the truth. 21st, Tuesday, the news right now in the United Kingdom is that Rishi Sunak has given a comprehensive compensation to anyone that received HIV or hepatitis blood in the UK between the 70s and the 90s, given to them by the NHS and doctors. And I've used this experience to highlight the fact that the NHS is deeply satanic. It is there to keep us sick. It is there to keep us on the rat race, going around and around and around, being sick, getting a bit better, then coming back, being sick, getting a bit better, coming back. They don't talk about stuff like urine therapy. They don't talk about things that can actually be benevolent for the body, alkaline-based diets. They don't speak ever about prolonged fasting. These are basic things to heal the body instantly. You go to the NHS and you're ill, you have an operation, they sit there and they give you a white bread, cheese and ham sandwich with butter. That's dairy and wheat. Two of the most fucked up things that the body could use when healing. It's all fucked up and backwards, but you need to be of a certain vibration to understand it. Like I said, I'm not coming for the NHS. If I was at work today and I broke my arm, I'm straight hollering the closest hospital in Kent and saying, help me. What I'm saying is though, hospital should be a place for emergencies. When it comes to a place of healing and trust, they're no longer that. They are no longer that. My aunt died only at the end of last year. She was in a terrible state. The amount of times I had to fight the nurses to even warm up her food in a dirty microwave, giving her dirty food. Lukewarm food, treating her like a fucking slave. And that she should be grateful that she's even there. No. Anyway, I love ya. It's time to leave ya. Time to get back to work. Keep your vibration high, man. I've been struggling recently. I've been finding life difficult. Been finding it hard to navigate. I've been very lonely. Working on a building site, people only really talk about football, women, sex, bullshit like that. And I want to talk about how the NHS should be held under the Nuremberg Code for the crimes against humanity. Hey, I love you, yeah, peace. Do me a favor, man, just say wagwan to that homeless person today when you walk past them. Shake their hand. Don't be scared that their hand is all dry and got mud and dirt and shit under their fingernails, man. Shake that hand like you're shaking the Queen's hand. Let them know that they've been recognized, that you see them. Most powerful thing we can do. I'm actually inviting a homeless man to my local Buddhist meeting recently. I saw him sitting there reading the Da Vinci Code. And I said, wow, what are you reading? And he told me. I told him I was on my way to a Buddhist meeting. He stood up and he started saying, I love Buddhism. I don't really like Abrahamic religions. And I said, well, come to a Buddhist meeting. And he was like, bro, you're one of the first people to speak to me in like a year. And I said, because you are me and I am you. You're my brother. Don't be looking at one of them people that are stopping outside Tesco in their Range Rover, crawling over you, coming out with loads of food and pizza and not even saying a word to you. They're disconnected from themselves. That's why they're disconnected to you. Nam yo harenge kyo, yeah?